I mean, you're just coming from a tea, coffee break. I'm sure you have had some good coffees and tea to keep you going. Our moderator here today, Mr. Dennis Nkala, who is the Chief Intergovernmental and United Nations System Affairs UN Office for South-South Cooperation, honorable ministers present, His Excellency Ambassador Roy Pereira, Director, Brazilian Cooperation Agency, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Pesta Siraha, Country Director, Population Services, Zimbabwe, Professor Dr. Mohamed Rizal Matau Thematic, Deputy for Training, Research and Development, National Population and Family Planning Board, Government of Indonesia, Dr. Leticia Adelaide Appiah, Executive Director, National Population Council, Ghana, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I think I met all of you yesterday briefly. My name's Edward Kallon, and I am the Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Zimbabwe and also representative of the UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres. I'm hoping that you've enjoyed your time exploring the beautiful waterfalls and the charming town of Victoria Falls, despite this hot weather. This has become my second home. And when we pass the restaurant, I'm always saying, this seems familiar because we are here in one day or another. Let me take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers for bringing us all together to discuss this crucial topic of mobilizing South-South and triangular cooperation resources for population and sustainable development goals. As highlighted yesterday and also noted on several occasions, in the UNFPA's State of the World Population Report, our global population has reached a staggering 8 billion and is projected to surpass 9.2 billion by 2050. This exponential growth poses significant challenges for sustainable development. The 20th Inter-Ministerial Conference, hosted by the government of Zimbabwe, in partnership with partners in population and development and supported by the United Nations Population Fund, serves as a vital platform for government, policymakers, experts, and specialists to come together and address the crucial issues of population and development with a specific focus on the theme of this gathering, that's South-South and Triangular Cooperation. The International Conference on Population and Development, which was established in 1994, if my memory goes well, during the historic conference in Cairo, has played, from our analysis, a transformative role in shaping global thinking on population and development, and some of us are very, very passionate of the emphasis it plays on the importance of human rights, including reproductive rights, in sustainable development. We try to keep track of where we are coming from and where we are. And since the inception, the ICPD, from our calculation, has achieved remarkable progress, increased access to modern contraception, improved family planning services, reduced maternal mortality rates, and global efforts to eliminate harmful practices such as female genital mutilation and early child marriages. However, the challenges remain, especially in areas affected by population growth, economic instability, and the impact of crises like COVID-19 pandemic. To address these challenges and accelerate the achievement of ICPD goals, it is imperative that we leverage mechanisms as South-South and Triangular Cooperation, which has been recognized as a powerful tool for identifying and implementing solutions to common development challenges, and to harness the potentials of SSTC. It is critical we focus on several key perspectives. I appreciated from my brother this morning the whole concept of integrated systemic thinking and co-creation that are very critical for South-South cooperation. But let me share a few perspectives on linking the accelerators and resource mobilization. I have been doing this business for over 35 years, and at times when we talk about resources, we only think about money hanging in the tree. We forget that resources encompass so many dynamic interrelationships that are critical for you to be able to even start talking about mobilizing resources. So first, what I have seen in conventional thinking and linking that closely with South-South and triangular cooperation is that SSTC must be used in the world we live in today as an enabler to shift from what we are calling funding to financing. This includes sharing experiences, scaling up proven approaches, and exploring innovative financing modalities that can complement our traditional official development assistance, ODA, and also mobilize resources effectively. Second, we must learn from and accelerate proven programs through platforms like the Southside Galaxy, which I'm sure you're familiar with, which serves as a repository of documents and a vehicle for program improvements. Enhancing existing programs, learning from others, and accelerating programs are vital ingredients of South-South cooperation. Third, SSTC activities should be pursued at multiple levels from our experience, from policy and strategic levels to project and community levels. Leveraging institutional comparative advantages and engaging stakeholders at various levels can lead to what we are calling in today's conventional thinking inclusive and equitable development, which is a major missing link in Africa. Fourth, the power of digital networks. We are catching up, but should be harnessed for knowledge sharing, codifying good practices, and fostering partnerships, utilizing platforms that facilitate knowledge and information sharing on SSTC, and from what we have read and appreciated, that it can indeed be catalytic in maximizing the potential of SSTC. Fifth, cooperation within an SSTC framework should go beyond financial contribution and technical assistance. This is a delicate balance that we must create for South-South cooperation to happen. Innovative responses and challenges related to maternal health, gender equality, should be accelerated through strategic partnerships and collaborations. The recent UN General Assembly highlighted the strong linkages between population and development, the urgency to speed up action on the Sustainable Development Goals, addressing demographic trends, promoting reproductive health and rights, and investing in youth empowerment were all emphasized as critical components of sustainable development. So ICPD is just situated in that gamut of realities that we must talk about and must address before we even start thinking about sustainable development. It is also essential to strengthen institutional capacities and allocate adequate resources to support South-South and triangular cooperation, as mentioned in the UN Secretary General's 2022 State of the South-South Cooperation Project. In mobilizing resources through South-South and triangular cooperation, it is extremely critical to explore successful practices. Look at our traditional lessons learned, and also give it a forward-looking perspective, because at times lessons learned, we just go backwards and we forget about the four linking dimensions, and potential areas of collaboration, which are the central ingredients of what we're talking about here. This session provides a platform for dialogue, knowledge sharing, and networking among stakeholders involved in South-South and triangular cooperation. Furthermore, from our conventional lessons, by adopting a financing for development approach and focusing on domestic resource mobilization, we can address population and development challenges more effectively. Strengthening international cooperation, solidarity, and partnerships anchored on multilateralism and the UN Charter is vital to deploy South-South and triangular cooperation resources and achieve sustainable development goals. By mobilizing resources through SSTC, we can bridge a critical deficit for Africa, and that is the financing gaps, and contribute to the implementation of sustainable development goals or aspiration of governments in the South. This requires today to start talking about innovative financing mechanisms, leveraging partnerships, and focusing on domestic resource mobilization. The dialogue in the South must start looking inward if we are supposed to make any progress in our aspirations. Let us utilize what we have efficiently. Let us address illicit financial flows. Let us try as hard as we can to use resources more efficiently in the South to support our development aspiration. At times, I've been in conferences where we have focused too heavily on what others have to do for us. We simply forget one thing, and that is ODA can only be complementary and catalytic at best, period. Nothing more than that. Nobody is going to develop Africa for us. Others can only help us. So when we talk about this relationship of South-South triangular cooperation, we are trying to optimize, to me, what we can do for ourselves first, before ever we start thinking about what others are going to do for us. As equals in the South, we all have what we can offer to each another, and we can be more sympathetic looking at the global dynamics we have to deal with today. And as we embark on the panel discussions, I believe that together leveraging South-South and triangular cooperation and adapting a financing for development approach, we can mobilize resources needed to achieve transformative change in population and sustainable development. You know, we talk big. I leave it now to Dennis to go into the details and talk about it. But the professors should not abuse us that we only talk to the crowd, you know. They tell us that you create the chapeau and you give the framework, and let those who know the business talk about it. It has been a pleasure being with you here, and I look forward to a fruitful discussion here, looking at resource mobilization from a comprehensive and holistic approach, and not just going with a begging bowl, but rather going with a bowl that is substantive, where we can demonstrate that with support, we can influence change. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dennis.